According to sportsbooks, the Chargers are expected to win 8 games this year. Should we bet the over or the under? In this video, you'll get my personal answer based on a thorough statistical study. I'm Professor MJ, a university statistics professor, and I'm here to help you grow your bankroll. This video will also preview the 2020 season by the LA Chargers. Anthony Lynn's first 2 seasons as the Chargers head coach were successful, with 9-7 and 12-4 records. However, last year was a clear disappointment as the team finished dead last in their division with a 5-11 record. That included losing 6 of the final 7 matchups. Obviously, the team is entering a new era with a big QB change. They hope the 10-year drought without a division title is going to get snapped sooner than later. Let's talk about the quarterback position. After spending 16 seasons with the Chargers, Philip Rivers signed with the Colts. Before the draft, head coach Anthony Lynn kept repeating that Tyrod Taylor was in the driver's seat to get the starting nod under center. Now, does that still hold true after drafting Justin Herbert with the number 6 overall pick? I doubt it. Herbert is one of the most polarizing prospects. Some experts believe he'll have a great career, while others see bust written all over him. Now, he is physically gifted with good size and elite arm strength and mobility that allows him to elude the rush and pick up first downs with his legs. Now, the knocks on him are as follows. First, some people question his leadership ability because he is an introvert. Also, his decision-making is not always the best. He fumbles too often, and the 64% college career completion rate is not all that impressive. Now, Tyrod Taylor has 54 career TD passes versus 20 interceptions, while adding 16 rushing TDs to his resume. Taylor's best years were with the Bills from 2015 to 17, during which he helped Buffalo reach the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. He tends to get blamed for being too conservative. Sure, he does limit the turnovers, but throwing 51 touchdown passes in 44 games in Buffalo was far from breathtaking. After a bad experience in Cleveland in 2018 and not playing at all in 2019, can Taylor revive his career? It seems pretty doubtful. Let's talk about the running back position. Melvin Gordon left for Denver, which leaves the door wide open for Austin Ekeler to take over as the number 1 back. Ekeler was excellent in both facets of the game, as a runner and as a receiver. For the second straight year, he rushed for about 550 yards with 3 TDs on the ground. However, he did a lot more damage through the air by catching 92 balls out of 108 targets, which included 8 receiving TDs and a very good 10.8 yards per catch average. The undrafted runner from Western State has averaged 4.8 yards per carry thus far in his 3 years in the big league, which is great. Gordon's departure inserts Justin Jackson into the number 2 running back role. He was picked in the 7th round of the 2018 draft, and his main problem has been staying healthy. It's unclear what Jackson can bring to the table due to his limited time on the field. But based on his draft status, it's hard to expect great things. Let's talk about wide receivers. This position was dominated by two players, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. All other guys caught less than 10 passes. What? Well, you can't say enough about Keenan Allen. He's just a super reliable target. He was often the victim of the injury bug in the past, but he's now played all 16 games in each of the last 3 years. During this time period, he has been extremely consistent by averaging 101 receptions for 1,263 yards and 6 TDs. He will be entering his age 28 campaign, so he still has plenty of gas left in the tank. Mike Williams was the number 7 overall selection in the 2017 draft out of Clemson. His numbers have increased each year, except the TD output, which inexplicably dropped from 10 to 2 last year. Williams had a whopping 20 yards per catch average last year, second best in the league behind Mecole Hardman. The depth at the position is worrisome. The team drafted a couple of guys in later rounds, but that may not be enough. Let's move on to the tight end position. Hunter Henry is one of the top tight ends in the league when healthy. The problem has been just that, staying healthy. He tore his ACL during OTAs in 2018, which caused him to miss the entire regular season. And last year he missed 4 additional games due to a knee injury, but he still set career highs in receptions with 55 and receiving yards with 652. VIRGIL Green is the projected backup. He could not get anything going even during Henry's absence last year. It does not bode well for the former 7th rounder. Let's talk about the Chargers' offensive line. Mike Pouncey's first 5 years in the league were pretty good after being selected in the first round by the Dolphins 9 years ago. Then his Pro Football Focus grades started to decline steadily. Things got worse last year when he suffered a career-threatening neck injury. Right tackle BULAGA is now on the wrong side of 30, but that did not scare the Chargers off. They signed him to a 3-year deal worth $30 million. He will solidify the line without a doubt. He played very well last year in Green Bay. With Michael Schofield about to hit the free agent market, the Chargers acquired Trey Turner from the Panthers. Both of these guys received very identical PFF marks, but Turner is 3 years younger. Dan FEENEY ended up playing all 16 games for the 2nd year in a row. However, once again, the quality of his play left a lot to be desired. He rated as the 64th best guard out of 81 qualifiers. The Trent Scott experiment on Philip Rivers' blind side was a huge failure last year. He was atrocious. Can PIPKINS be the answer at left tackle? The 3rd round pick from last year did not play many snaps, so it's hard to evaluate. Or will it be Sam Ty taking over at this key position? The 6th rounder has never received a PFF grade above 60 in his 3-year career, so it's hard to get excited about this guy. Alright, so let's summarize the 2020 outlook for the Chargers offense. Despite all the criticism around Philip Rivers, he still threw for more than 4,600 yards. Can Justin Herbert and/or Tyrod Taylor do better? I doubt it. Also, am I the only one worrying about the depth at many key positions on offense? Instead of having a nice Gordon-EKELER duo at running back, the team must now rely on unproven Justin Jackson as the backup runner. At wide receiver, what happens if either Keenan Allen or Mike Williams gets hurt? And if Hunter Henry misses time at tight end, the team must turn to Virgil Green. We're talking about huge talent drop-off between the starters and the backups at those positions. At least the team upgraded its offensive line, but not that much. I like the additions of BULAGA and Turner, but Okung and Schofield left. To me, that represents a small net gain for the team. So overall, I believe this unit suffers a small downgrade over 2019. How will the 2020 Chargers defense fare compared to the 2019's group? The team upgraded the interior of the line a little bit with the addition of LINVAL Joseph. Tackle leader Thomas Davis is gone, while the organization acquired Nick VIGIL and drafted Kenneth Murray. VIGIL is not a solid linebacker, so Chargers fans must hope for Murray to develop quickly, or perhaps see Drew Tranquill elevate his game. Getting Chris Harris at corner is another good, albeit not spectacular, addition for the team. However, losing Adrian Phillips will put the Chargers in trouble if one of their two starting safeties get hurt. Los Angeles allowed the 14th fewest points in the league last year. I expect them to remain around that spot in 2020. Alright, now listen up, because we are entering the most critical portion of this video. It's now time to tell you whether it's best to bet the Chargers to win more or less than 8 games in 2020. Now, according to an advanced statistical study I ran, it is preferable to bet the under. And here's why. I simulated the 2020 NFL season 1 million times. How did I do this? Well, I simulated each of the 256 regular season games by following win probabilities as set by betonline.ag's odds. Then I told my program to count the number of times the Chargers won more or less than 8 games in those 1 million simulated years. Now, if you omit the simulated years where they won exactly 8 games, since in those cases your bet would have tied anyway, here are the results. In 42.6% of the cases, the Chargers won more than 8 games. Now, considering the best odds available on the over are -107 at bookmaker.eu, that generates a ROI, a return on investment, of negative 17.6%, which is quite bad. As for the under, this bet was a winner in 57.4% of the cases. Now, the highest odds available can be found at Heritage Sports. These odds are -105, and that equates to a ROI of plus 12.1%. Now, that's a great return on your money. But pay attention. This is the 23rd highest ROI I found in the NFL, which means there are 22 teams whose ROI is bigger than 12%. So subscribe to my YouTube channel to get my betting tips on all NFL teams. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the team whose ROI is 22nd, the Tennessee Titans. So I'm Professor MJ. I hope you found this video insightful. I'll see you again in another video. Thanks for watching.